What is heaven, or a city called paradise? We have all heard of the New Jerusalem that comes down out of heaven. There is a Jerusalem that exists in the heavens like the one on earth, and both function politically and domestically in practically the same category of influence. There was one difference. The Jerusalem in heaven was about 1,000 times larger in area than the Jerusalem on earth. In spite of this largeness of area, the inhabitants of the heavenly Jerusalem are equal in size to human beings. Jesus in his glorified state, and the angels when they appear to men, always look like ordinary human beings in size. And Jesus is the same in body form as the Father. Also, the measurements used to calculate the size of the heavenly Jerusalem are the same that mankind uses on earth, which are the same standard used by the angels. Vast crowds of nations, tribes, peoples and tongues, almost innumerable in population, inhabit the regions of heaven where it speaks of much people, a crowd, in heaven. 3 heavens. What do we mean when we use the term heaven in this geographical report? The Bible speaks of 3 heavens, and they are all different from one another. The first heaven is one about which all of us on earth are very well acquainted because it simply means the atmosphere, particularly that where all weather phenomena occur. The birds and the clouds are found in the middle and upper parts of this first heaven. This is the heaven into which Elijah was taken when he left Elisha in the 9th century, before the birth of Christ. We later find Elijah still on earth in the land of Judah. We know that Elijah did not go into the 3rd heaven, the heaven of God's throne, because Jesus explicitly taught that no man before his time had ever gone into the heaven where God had his throne. The 2nd heaven is the outer space where the moon, the sun and all the stars are found, and this includes the billions of galaxies that modern man has been able to discover with the use of various kinds of telescopes. This heaven is described in Genesis chapter 1, and it is one that all of us are familiar with. We are only interested in the 3rd heaven. This is where God's abode happens to be. He lives in a palace that is located within a city in an area called Jerusalem, or Mount Zion. This vast region, remember, this Jerusalem is 1,000 times larger than our earthly Jerusalem, is called in the Bible by the name paradise. The word itself means a park or a garden, and the Jews have long equated the Garden of Eden as a parallel, and a microcosm of the grand garden in heaven in which God the Father lives and has his throne. In fact, the Garden of Eden is nothing more than a type, or counterpart, of God's own residence in his heavenly domain. Then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was no longer any sea. I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God, prepared as a bride beautifully dressed for her husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, "Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away." He who was seated on the throne said, "I am making everything new." Then he said, "Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true." He said to me, "It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give water without cost from the spring of the water of life. Those who are victorious will inherit all this, and I will be their God and they will be my children. But the cowardly, the unbelieving, the vile, the murderers, the sexually immoral, those who practice magic arts, the idolaters and all liars, they will be consigned to the fiery lake of burning sulfur. This is the second death." Amen.